Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse. And again, this video is sponsored by IBM, which has supplied this flash storage, which they call the FS, and it's the 5030H for hybrid. And that means that it has SSDs and then it has older SAS drives, spinning disks, so different tiers of storage in this box. There is actually SAS, SSD and RAM. IBM supplies this with a lot of the high-end enterprise features enabled, so it's a flat license. But that's not what we are about today. Today we're gonna mount it in the rack over here somewhere. And I have already gotten a complaint that well, I took way too long to get that box out of the box, and he was probably right. Good spot for it down here. There's an IBM UPS, there's an IBM X3850X5, and then there's IBM, and then we go to the newer Lenovo. Instead of using 10 minutes of putting it there, I'm just gonna cheat and we're just gonna go. And there we are, that wasn't so hard. Okay, first improvement IBM, those rails suck. What happened to the nice click system where you just put it in and clickety click and it's all good and done and securely fastened and stuff? This was a lot of screws and I didn't do it right. I haven't put it in right. It's going out in like 14 days, so well, just gonna loosely put it here and figure out to put some cables in as well. It's really no big deal, it's just rails. You put them in and you put the server on top of them. This has a funny locking mechanism that I haven't seen before, but I'm sure we can figure this out as well. So yeah, it's all good. Okay, I have climbed in behind the racks here, and as you can see, I put in two network cables in here. The one to the, well, actually this one, the one out here, that's the management, or the T for technical or whatever, and that is just a 1 gigabit connection. This one is the iSCSI connection. It's a 10 gigabit iSCSI connection, and that goes up to my 10 gigabit switch. I'm just planning to power on one of the two controllers here. It has a second redundant controller over here, but I'm just starting with one of them. See if we can get that up and running. And then I have some power here that I'm gonna power both of the controllers. It might be complaining if I don't do that, so let's try and pop that in. So this is the first power on. Oh, and okay, I popped in the other power connection as well. I needed both hands for that. So now it is powered. So I'm gonna go and check the computer and see if I have any connection to this. So this is what it looks like in the front. All of the hard drives are lighting up green. That's kind of opposite of what the normal thing I'm used to is, where everything is off as standard. Oh, and then we have that one that is also green all the time, but yeah, it looks like that. Hey, this has been teasing me ever so slightly, because I connected the FS5030H to the network and was expecting it to take a DHCP address, and it did not. So and I've been up and down my DHCP server to see where it would be, and I managed to access my switch and check the port that it was connected to, and finally I found out that it had, well, right now we are actually at controller number 2 down there, because I tried to go to the other controller, and this controller shows up in there with the IP number 192.168.0.1. So, and that is the default address of this. So when there's no DHCP, you can get the box at that address. I should have known that, but I think it's weird that it didn't catch my DHCP server. But this is a used box, so maybe someone has set it to static IP and gave it the original IP number as the static IP. I don't know. So let's I haven't been in here, so you are along for the ride. So let's see. System initialization. Welcome. Can we do anything? No, just next. Okay, that's the first enclosure in a new system. That would be it. As an additional enclosure in an existing system. No, it's a new one. So let's go for that. And so here we can change the IP information. Okay. I haven't figured out what to call this yet. What IP number to give it. I'll go check my my IP plan. Okay, that has been checked. See the number 125 is available, and as soon as I started typing, it put in the other things by itself. That was rather smart. So next, task complete. Okay, rebooting web server, rebooting. Okay, I will. I had to change the IP number on this laptop, so I'll go change that and see if we can meet up with it on the new IP number. Okay, I changed the IP number on the laptop. Let's see if anything is responding. It says that it's still rebooting. I'm not sure if it needs all 5 minutes to reboot. Guess we'll have to see that. Oh, it's not there yet. Okay, this is weird. I changed it to well, to this IP number down here, cluster 192, blah 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 blah. But it's still up at this IP number. I've just been forth and back. I couldn't find it anywhere, and it's still there. So let's try and log in and see what it. And the password here is password, but with a 0 instead of the O, and small letters. Go get it! There we are, and we are greeted with a system setup. It says that we should ensure that all hardware and cables is correctly connected and powered on, obtain any optional licenses, obtain email server IP address for, well, if the server has to call home, if there is something wrong, obtain IP address for remote support. Yeah, we're not gonna need all of that, so we're just gonna try and move on. And it wants us to give us a new password, so guess we'll do that. And you can see that I'm just trying to call it my PlayHouse. I don't know if it will approve that, but we're gonna check. Oh, that's okay. Successfully changed, closed. Okay. Name of the cluster. We are gonna call it my PlayHouse. That's a good name, right? Actually, let's use the short one. My PlayHouse, and it's the FS5030H for hybrid. So cool. Next, and it does something. Synchronizing memory cache. Task complete. Close. We do not have any additional licensing that it needs to put in here. So moving along, let's use a NTP server. Oh, does it want that? Really? Okay, local NTP server here in Denmark for the time. So let's see if it eats that. Apply next. Looks good. Time zone. Task completed. Close. Okay. Was the encryption purchase for this system? I don't know. It can encrypt system. It can do a lot of stuff. I'm gonna say no because I am not sure. So I think that's the safe bet. Then we can make it call home if we want to. Can we skip that? Okay. I'll type in something here that so that they will know that we're just playing around. Okay, I put something in here. Hopefully that's good enough so that they will know that, well, don't take this seriously. So, okay, I'll put in some information here and move along. And it took that information and we can continue. So we are, okay. Where would you like to add the storage system? Enter the IP number. Okay. That might be what I did wrong. But okay, let's just move along. And here is a summary of all the stuff we have put in, including a lot of information that we don't need to see. Okie dokie. So setup is completed and I'll be redirected to the management GUI. Okay. More info. Not now. Not now. This looks promising. Okay, I have actually moved into the living room here as it's more comfortable in here, and I have managed to get this so that I can see it on my network. It involved putting in some more connections. I have now iSCSI connection in each of the controllers, and I have also put in the T connection in both of them. I am not sure if that is correct, but here is the window. See the effort that I've gone through so that yeah, IBM, the sacrifices I do. Here is what we saw out there, and this is a little bit easier to show you as the camera is not in the way of the keyboard all the time. This is what we have. This is our storage box, and this is the management interface of it, and it keeps bugging me of different stuff that I really should try. So sometimes there is a pop-up here. Oh, remember that you need to do this, and oh, remember that you have to do that. So it's rather helpful up there. This is the main dashboard. You can probably do stuff with it, but I do want to show you something I found on the monitoring system. Look at this. This is the front of the storage box, and this is the back of the storage box. So we can click on different stuff like this connection here, like this. Thank you. And we get an IP number. That it's that IP number. Okay. And we can click on that one. I think that is actually the one that we are communicating with right now, because that's the IP number that we have up here. So we might be on that one. Then we have the technical thing, and it's complaining about that. And I have no idea why it's doing that. You can kind of see that that's 29 minutes ago that I messed with that. And that one, okay. Apparently they're not doing much. So it might be those two connections that says iSCSI only that might also really be the management ports, which is kind of weird. That one has a different IP number. I have no idea why that has that IP number. And then the other one has the IP number that I've told it about, and then it has a weird service IP number. The first connection that I put in, this one, is only running 1 gigabit, which is rather odd because I have put it in a 10 gigabit Ethernet port. I think the cable that I put in there might not be of a high enough quality to go to 10 gigabits, but as it is this one that seems to be the correct one right now, it might not matter that much. And there is other monitoring things that we can see. We can see some performance. There is some weird peak here, no idea what that is, but there's different graphs, and now the peak moved over here. Then there's pools. I'm guessing that we need to do a storage pool, and then afterwards we need to put a volume on top of that storage pool, but I am guessing here. Then we have some hosts. We shouldn't have any hosts. I expect that this will be a list of the hosts that will be connecting to our storage, so we can add a host here and tell it that that is allowed. I might as well get moving here and try and make a pool. Let's go to pool and create a pool. We could call it pool 0. My PlayHouse 0 data reduction. I'm sure that's pretty smart. I don't really know what it does, so that's a little bit more sophisticated than I'm comfortable with. We'll just not do that right now. But let's create our pool here. And was that it? I guess that was it. Yeah, we have a pool. Capacity, nothing. Do we need to assign some disk to it? I think it will just grow as needed. No data reduction. I think that's good. We have a pool. Let's say that. let's see if we can do a volume on top of our pool. Volumes. There, create volume. Oh, there is no free space available. Add additional storage or delete one more volumes. So maybe our pool isn't working. Add storage. Quick, advanced. Quick. We have our 17 drives. We have 4 SSDs. So we can add those. Okay, and it tells us how it's configured here. It still becomes complicated. What do we do here? Are we just gonna assign? We're just gonna assign it all, aren't we? We want max capacity. For sure, right? Assign. Creating RAID arrays. View details. Oh, and then it was done. Oh, and now we have some capacity up here. I think we can create a volume now. Create volume. And that's gonna be on that pool. Then we have our capacity here. I think even we can over provisioning it. Should we try that? Capacity, gigabytes, terabytes. I think we need 50. I think. Oh, not enough space available in the pool, so it does not allow me to do that. Pin provisioning. And so none, it does not allow. Compressed, it does allow. I'm gonna give it a name. We're just gonna call it IBM FS 5030H. Capacity saving. Thin provisioning. Compressed. Can we do thin provisioning? Oh, deduplication can only be created in a data reduction pool. We want that. We want that. We are going back to pools. Pool. Gonna right click that one. We're gonna property it. We're gonna have more details. And I thought that I would be able to edit that. Action. I guess we're gonna start over. It didn't take long, and there is no data on it yet. So, okay, we are learning here. Really pool one. And then we want that one. Oh, and stuff that I need to read. It says that if data reduction is used too much, it can affect the performance. Okay, that is, as with so many other things, that is probably, okay. Creating that. I really want to try the deduplication stuff. And then we need to add our storage to it. We're gonna go the simple way and just give it all of it. Awesome. What is that? 1.3 terabytes. Never mind that. Volume, create volume. We want terabytes, and we want 50. And we're out of space. Disaster. But now we should be able to temporarize it. Deduplication. Compression. Why doesn't it do both? IO group. Automatic, or pick the only group. Automatic, and it can pick the only group by itself. So, create. There we are. Okay, volume done. Then I think we need to go to, I have been down here in settings and network and Ethernet ports, and here it says node 1 port 1, which is the 10 gigabit. I have set an IP number for that. Node 2 port 1, which is the 1 gigabit. I've set another IP number for that, and I just tried some and pinged that. We can see that that responds on both of them. That does some ping thing, and we can right click it and we can modify storage ports, and that is disabled for IP version 4. So I think we should try and enable that. Modify. I'm just gonna take the other one as well. Modify storage port, enable. Wi-Fi. Enable. There. Okay, with our volume done, it's time to connect the host to our iSCSI target here. So we're gonna go to host. We're gonna add a host there, and we need to give it a name. So this is gonna the host is gonna be my tiny Win 10 machine, and it's gonna be connection type. It's gonna be iSCSI. Yes, there is iSCSI and there is fiber channel. Then we need a host IQN, and on my little tiny machine here, I have this. That's the IQN from my tiny machine. So we're gonna cut and paste that in here. And then there's a lot of security we can add here, some password and yeah, good stuff. We're gonna skip it. Of course, if this is a secure thing, well, you want to put that in and add some security. So let's add that. And it's happy about that. Close. Did we get anything? Okay, it did find something. It's offline. But let's try this one then. That should be the quick one. Looky what we have here. We have some iSCSI stuff. Login success. Connected. Done. I'm starting disk manager. But right now we haven't selected. See what I mean? It's very helpful. It wants to remind me that I should really add storage system to IBM Storage Insights. Not now. But we can up here, if I mark this and press action, I can modify volume mapping. We're gonna do that. And then we'll get in here and there's nothing. And then we can add mapping. And it sees our volume that we can add here. And we can press next. And it sees the volume. It's awesome. Map. Mappity map. Close. So let's see if we take and go to our target here. I have already punched in the IP number for one of the ports here. So if we connect, yes. Did it do anything? It's connected. Oh, here I have the disk manager and see what we got down there. We got ourselves a rather big 51,200 gigabytes storage thingy that we can do stuff with. So we have access to our, and it became online over here. Online. Cool. Updates available. Yeah, I'm not gonna update that. I borrowed it. What can we see? We can see dashboard. Now we see it's all green. Let's try just and make a. I think we need to initialize it first. GPT, awesome. There. Make simple volume. It's already on a RAID and all that good stuff. So we're just gonna go and we're gonna use all the space of it and we're gonna call it there. Fine. There. So now my PC is connected to it. My PC is on a 1 gigabit network connection, so I'm not gonna be able to stress it in any way. But we could try and copy some data. Last week's video. Let's copy that. Let's borrow that. Put it over there. Yes. Copy. Let's see. Yeah, apparently it is moving data over. Oh yeah, it's in the 80 megabytes per second. That's not that great. and then it just hit 100. The limit on 1 gigabit Ethernet here is the data is on a server in the data center, and I'm asking for the data out here and then putting it back into the data center. It's a very, very bad example here because we're going forth and back on a 1 gigabit connection. Well, more or less we needed to get something up and running, and that happened. So it's a bit of a learning curve when you get a new box like this. I have never touched a box like that before. I figured it out. I might not have done it in the fastest or the best way. You can please leave in the comments below all the stuff that I did wrong, so that, well, we might need to fix some of it. Right now there is actually a little bit of data on it. One video from last week, it doesn't matter, we can just delete it and put it back on there again. So the IBM Flash Storage 5030H is in the rack. It's responding to commands. We can put some data on it, and yeah, my best idea is to have a server, Proxmox or VMware, go connect to it through iSCSI and try and pull some data forth and back. That is what I'm dreaming about doing in the next video. If I manages, you're gonna have to see the next video. Again, thank you very much to IBM for sponsoring this video and putting this awesome equipment in my hands to play with. Lots and lots of you were commenting in the last video when we unboxed this that it was too expensive, and definitely this is not for home use. It's not the smallest business, it's a rather well-doing business, and it has to be a business that has some important data, because this does come at a price point. There is a link in the description of this video to IBM's promotion page where there is different configurations with different prices, and you can see there that, well, this starts at a pretty high point, and the price point is just too high for the ordinary home user. But time is on our side. Maybe in 5 years we can pick this up on eBay for next to nothing when the companies are done with it, has upgraded to the next newer version that will be coming out in 3 years or whatever, and we can play with it when the prices come down, just like much of the other equipment that I have sitting around here. Time is on our side. IT equipment loses value really fast. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again messing some more with this IBM FlashSystem and seeing, hopefully we can get some better numbers. Those 80 megabytes per second wasn't really that impressive, but other than that, have a really nice day. Bye bye.